Hi, Rachelle.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm great.
Good. I love these weekly check-ins.
Yes.
This is great. Cheers.
Cheers.
Today it's old fashions. Cheers.
It's her idea.
It's Rachelle's first old fashioned.
That's a tasty, tasty drink. So speaking of drinking,
Yes.
you know what I want to talk about today?
What's that?
I want to talk about friendship.
Friendship and drinking?
I mean, they do go hand in hand for most
Me too.
relationships in life, but I do want to focus today specifically on friendship, those relationships that we invite into our lives.
Okay.
And what that looks like for you. So I happen to know a lot of your friends.
For me, is this about me specifically?
Not you specifically. No.
Shoot.
Let's go right to the. I happen to know your friends.
Right to the
I
jugular.
didn't want you for that to come off that way. No, but I know your friends. I know the type of dynamic that that you all have and that you're close and stuff like that. So, do you check in with your friends a lot?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is it daily?
Well, we have a chat group. So I belong to, we call ourselves a tribe.
I love it.
And, I honestly have no idea how that even came about, we find each other with a caca, but that is when we're in person. So,
well, let's give a shout out to Leah's friends.
Caca! Anyways, we do have a chat group, and it's like, you know what, there's like one or two people that like every single morning they're like, I get a good morning check-in from them. They're the first ones up in the morning, and I always get a good morning. Sometimes I'll respond with a good morning, and then other days it's not a good morning. And so I don't say anything.
And do people notice when you don't? Are they paying attention that way?
They might, but no one says anything about it. Like, I think it's like there's some people that are like always there, and some people that are like sometimes there, and some people that like never respond. And we just know who all of those people are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. So, this group of friends, are they your closest friends?
Yes. Yeah. Like I would say like I would definitely rely on them for anything. There's,
do you have a best friend?
I don't know if I have a best friend.
Or your best friends?
So like, I feel like I had a best friend, and then I
didn't.
and then I didn't. And
do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Well,
today, or how are you feeling about that?
Like a little bit, but like nothing in specifics or anything like that, or nothing too close. But it's like, I don't know. I think that a lot of the best friends that I've had throughout my life have, kind of come and gone. I have friends that are like long-term, like we've been great friends since we were 13 years old. So they would be my best friends. But it's because they've known me the longest and through all of the phases in my life. Right. But, I think, and I feel like the more we have these conversations, you're slowly kind of filling into this role of like the person that I can talk to. And like, is kind of like an equal in conversations. But it's hard because especially as you get older to find someone that has had such a similarly patterned life, especially as you start to gain more experiences where you can still relate to each other. And so most of my best friends have been seasonal throughout different seasons of my life.
Yeah. Did you know that is completely normal?
Is it?
Yeah. So I did a little bit of research on just a little bit because I wanted this to be a pretty just like natural, conversation about what friendship looks like in our lives. But there is a 7-year cycle of friendship. And
that makes sense.
So at the stats, so women cycle through half of their friends every 7 years. If you are friends with somebody for more than 7 years, you will likely be their friend for life. Science says that. Science and research.
Science.
Yeah,
I think.
And from what you were just describing, it's just like, that sounds about right. So, I have some ride or dies where it's like at this point in the friendship, it is a sisterhood. It is a family thing. There is nothing. I can't think of
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anything. Like, so what's your longest friendship?
Like that I regularly keep in contact with would be, my friends, Christine, Shannon. They're from like, I guess like I moved around a lot. So, but what I would consider to be my hometown, they still live out there. And so that's like the only thing that's left for me there that makes me still call it home.
Yeah.
But,
isn't that a neat concept?
Yeah. But I've known them since I was 13. And so I guess that's like creeping up on 30 years.
That's cool.
Creeping up. That was time. But
I have somebody that I would call a friend that I've known since I was like 4.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's over.
And you're like still like maintaining that friendship?
Yeah. I mean, not near as like often, but it might be like months or something like that. So not like a very close daily,
Mm-hmm.
but I have friends from 2 of my best friends from grade 4.
Yeah.
And so that's, how old are you in grade 4?
Like 10?
Yeah. So same, about 30 years then. Yeah. We apologize for the interruption. As we've said previously, technology
sucks. We are back to our regular scheduled program. Cheers.
Brought to you by whiskey and bourbon or
bourbon
stuff. Yeah.
It's the cheap stuff, so.
That's I would explain a lot. No, I'm just kidding. Kidding. All right, so I believe we left off. We were talking about your longest standing friendship, and so what was your shortest?
Oh, well, everybody's had a one night stand, I suppose.
Those girls you meet in the bathroom and like, we're gonna hang out.
Yeah. You know what? There are a few nights where, let me see if I can think of one, but like you all have those nights where it's like you meet someone and you just have like the best night of your life and you have like no idea who that person was, never to see them again.
Yeah.
And honestly, I know I've had them, cannot recall any of them. Can you remember anything like that?
I can't remember names, but like, especially before Facebook was a thing, that would happen more. Now it seems to be a thing like, oh my gosh, we need to hang out and, let me find you on Facebook. Leah's still going to readjust here. We're not happy with what's going on. There we go. This feels very news reportery.
There we go.
I like it.
Okay.
But yeah, I have like probably at least, not that I have tons of friends on Facebook, but like 3 people on there probably are from like, let's be besties and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to do a checkup fairly regularly with my friends list. And like, I don't know, now it's just like kind of a free for all and it's fun. And it's like, I don't know. There's a lot of people in there that I don't talk to anymore, but I really enjoy seeing like in a really non-creepy way, like their children grow up because I got to see them grow up. And like, I love seeing that they're, their parents and, that they're happy. And I love seeing their drama all over Facebook that they post. And
I love people that post drama. It's my favorite.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. All right. So what do you think the difference is between, those short-term friendships?
Mm-hmm.
And like, maybe not so much, the ones that happened like literally one night and it was a great night and it was lots of fun, but like the ones that like maybe lasted a year or something like that and then kind of fizzled. Why do you think the one that lasted 30 years did or is still?
Why is so? I know that I have had a lot of best friends that I've worked with or I've been on a sports team with, or there was something that like kept us coming together repeatedly.
Yeah.
And or we went to school together, and it's like you have your best friend there. And then as soon as, either I quit that job or if I moved away or something like that. And this is even post Facebook, but it's like you just kind of like move on. I don't know. It's like you've moved on and maybe that makes me a terrible person. There's a couple of people that we have the best intentions. And every time we run into each other, it's like, we haven't missed a heartbeat. You know who you are. And,
shout out to the people that are cool like that.
Yeah. And, you know, but it's like every once in a while we'll meet up, we'll either have lunch or like meet for a quick drink. And it's like, I love those. I've loved those friendships that like, those are the ones that stand the test of time. My friendships that are the longest, you know what, we've had periods of time where we've like really grown apart, and, you know, there'll be like maybe a year or so where we won't have a chance to connect. And then we go through years where we'll see each other like, you know, 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And those are my, like, and I think that's just how we are. Like, if there's no pressure there. And I think that's what's kept us keep coming back. I think as we're getting older, now I do think that we feel the pressure to like have regular visits because, you know, friends are like, we're getting older and things happen, and you like, we don't want to live with that regret of like, you know, the shoulda, woulda, coulda's gotten together, and it's become a little bit more important now that we're getting older.
Yeah. I think too, like, as a person ages, you not learn to understand, but you understand the role of those important friendships and what they've had in your life.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I know a lot of people, like, I don't know, it'll be like trendy for people to say like, you know, my partner is my best friend and blah, blah, blah. And like, that's really cute. And like, that would be the goal. Those are relationship goals.
Yeah.
For sure. But like, that's not the reality for a vast majority of people. And it doesn't mean that you and your partner don't have a great relationship, but like, I would be the shell of the human that I am if it wasn't for my friends.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Like, it's my partner. It's, I say that we tell each other all the time that we're best friends, and we are. We love,
you guys act like it, do. You do. Like, you enjoy each other's company.
We genuinely enjoy each other's company. But we know when we need our space, and he knows when I just need, like, girls talk different. And when I need to like hash something out, it's girls can say something to each other. And if you have like the right relationship, you can say the worst of what you're thinking. And we know that that's not really, like, we know that it's a metaphor. And I would say that same thing to my partner, and he would take it so literally. He'd be like, wow, you feel like this? And I'm like, no, well, it's just like, in that moment, yes.
Well, there's my one girlfriend.
We'll say things just to make each other laugh, and like we'll go for like the cutthroat thing, and it's just a vent. It's all it is.
Yeah, I have a girlfriend where it would be like, we go through like challenging times in our marriages, you know, and it would be like, I need to tell you something. And then it would be like, oh, do we hate him today? Or do we like him? You know, it's just like, she's like, I want to understand the vibe. So I know if like I'm bashing him with you, or if we're like,
yay,
or if I'm like really like encouraging you in your marriage today. Like, what is it that you need from me? Let's talk this out before we go forward.
Because you don't want to like hear something and mix those up and be like, oh, I get rid of him. And you're like, what? Exactly. Now I need to reevaluate everything.
Right. Let me look back.
Do you think it's okay? I don't know if this is a question of yours or not, and I apologize if I step on your toes. No. Do you think that it's possible to have a platonic friendship with a dude? Or with someone of the opposite sex, even? Like,
I do. Mm-hmm. I can appreciate why there's been a lot of people hurt by that, though, and why it causes issues in relationships.
Yeah. I have several times, and why I can't learn, I don't know, because it's not, we don't share the same feelings. I have been in platonic friendships and then later found out that maybe the other person wasn't. And
so then it wasn't.
Well, right. And so like
their interest in you wasn't.
And then all of a sudden you find out, and it's like, well, now we can't even be friends because you made it weird.
You made it
and
weird.
It's
don't make it weird, man.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I would really like to say that you have a purely platonic friend. I have many, many friends that are men, and that some that I'm attracted to, some that I'm not attracted to, because I think you have to kind of weigh that in as well, really.
Totally.
And so, and the ones that are attractive, I definitely think about you. No.
Edit that out. No, I definitely agree with what you're saying, though, to a large degree. Like I have friends that are male, and I consider them my friends. Am I spending time with them without their partner there?
Mm-hmm.
No. Not necessarily on purpose, but it's not, I don't know how to put that. Like maybe that's a different level of friendship then, but I don't know. I have mixed views on this because I do also believe like if you, like the nature of say, romantic relationships is like an attraction, an admiration,
Yeah.
So if you can be really good friends with somebody who has the same sexual orientation as you do, or maybe that's the wrong word, but do you know what I mean? Like if you as a woman are really good friends with a man who's interested in women,
yeah,
and if you get along really good and you have all this fun together, like why aren't you dating? Because those would be the steps to be dating. So it's like, and
it can be confusing.
I think so.
I think it can be confusing.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think, I don't know if there's an answer. Like, I think it's just like one of life's great mysteries, or like the things that we just have to navigate as humans. And, I'm really lucky that, my partner and I have a really high degree of trust. Like a really high degree of trust. So when I travel for work, I'm 99% of the time I'm traveling with, people of the opposite sex, and it has never been an issue. Like I can honestly say that we do a really good job of, trusting each other, and we can go on separate vacations. I also know this is the only relationship I've ever been in that I could operate under this way, which is probably why I'm still in this relationship.
Grown up stuff.
Yeah.
My kids, you want to know a funny story? So when my kids learned, recap if you haven't caught this yet. So I work in healthcare and I'm carried. And so I do personal care on people, which includes every single part of their body. And when my kids found out that I saw other men's privates and had to like wash them, they were appalled. They basically thought I was like cheating on their dad. Ooh. And it's like, Dad, like, how do you feel about this? This is crazy.
That's fun.
I do think it's funny.
That's funny. How does your husband feel about it, more importantly?
He's never said boo about it. I don't think he's worried about the general demographic of people that I help are quite elderly and,
And that's not what you're into?
No, not, okay. No. My most favorite thing, almost every single man that I've ever helped ever, the first time that you help them with that region, they have to say something like, well, there used to be a lot more down there. Like every time, it's just like, I bet there was. Like, what do you say to that? I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, moving on from that.
Understood.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think about our friendship story?
Our friendship story?
Do you want to share the story? Should we tell the story?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. So, I mean, it could go even further back. Not that we knew of each other before, but we did know of each other possibly, or I knew of you. You might not have known of me because of the one mutual person.
Before, yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah,
years and years ago.
I had seen like their wedding pictures and you were part of their wedding party and stuff. And so I was aware of a Rachelle.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Yes.
Okay. And then, time's gone on, whatever. And, then we have had a mutual friend. Just smile and nod.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how we got introduced. And I got to spend some time with Leah and get to know her in that capacity briefly.
In a censored way. Because I want to tell my first impression of you when I actually met you. And I know the circumstances. And so I would love to hear your first impression of me in like
Oh, jeez.
So
we have to be so careful how we word these things.
I'll give the high level scenario, and that'll set the baseline.
Yeah, I like it.
So, with my friend group, we are there. It's all of our close girlfriends, but plus partners, no like strangers or anything like that. And this is not like, don't let your imagination run too wild, but we have rented a mansion. We're just going to like have a party weekend. But we decided to have theme nights. We like doing like costumes and stuff like that. And so the very first night was the first night that I met you, and it was our formal night. And so the dudes are all dressed up in like, a button up shirt, and like, they're basically appeasing the women who are just looking for an excuse to dress up. Yeah. They're like, fine, I'm doing the things. And so, they're dressed up. The girls are all like in heels and whatever, like, slinky dress we never get to wear anymore because we don't go places that require such things. Rachelle shows up in her wedding gown.
It's the nicest dress I've had.
That is what you said to me in that moment. You were like,
it still is.
You're like, this is the nicest dress I have. And I was like, I need more of your sense of humor in my life. Like, why didn't I think of that? Like I have.
Yeah, I pulled that thing out of the garbage bag and came home and from my wedding night years earlier.
Yeah.
And that was fun. To be in a mansion and like walk down like some stairs was like I felt like a queen. Like it was like, this is my mansion.
Oh, every single person there, or maybe just me, was jealous of what you were wearing that day. I wanted so badly to be in like one of my old wedding dresses.
See, she's got a selection. She's smart. Yeah, no, that was, and so a night like that though, you talk about the one night stand friendship. Yeah. I mean,
we could very well started.
It kind of started like, it's like, we all had a blast together that weekend, all that good stuff. And then it's like, we're Facebook friends now, I think at that point.
Yeah,
it was when
we were on
happened.
Facebook.
And
probably got tagged in a photo or something like that. And then we were like, well, now we're in a photo. Yeah. We should be.
And then, so through that mutual friend, then we would just see each other. We didn't have our own personal relationship.
Yeah, no, we really didn't. I can only remember really one other time that we hung out.
Mm-hmm. And like
through the mutual friend.
4 years later.
Yeah. And then it was September 2021. I was throwing a work party, and it was like COVID rules were just relaxing and like allowing such events to occur. And I knew Rachelle was in the healthcare industry. It was like at the times where it was like not anyone could even do a COVID. Like there wasn't.
I was qualified to do COVID testing, and so
and so I invited her to come and COVID test everyone upon entry of the party, and we had someone else helping her. And then when you were done, you were able to like join the party.
Yeah, that was part of the deal. It's like it wasn't. I don't think it was a paid gig, but it was like, you can hang out at the party and we'll put you in a hotel room.
Yeah. And so it was held at a hotel. And so I said, you got a hotel room because you come from out of town.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening that night was, so the other friend that was helping her is another mutual friend, still a good friend of ours. And, so you guys were sharing the room, and afterwards the hotel was like, oh, you have like, these bottles of wine that are opened. You've technically had to pay for them already. Would you like them? And we're like, yes, all of them. Please.
Every time. Yeah.
And so the four of us, the three girls, plus my partner Darcy, went up to the room and just got
drank a lot more.
Stupid. So alcohol is the basis of our friendship.
And doing extra things.
Yeah. We just turned the music up and we danced all night. We had like a proper hotel, like jumping on the beds and like just
so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then since then, Leah,
and then I never saw her again.
Well, and I was kind of part of like the other people in the friend group too, because of some camping trips and stuff that I had done with that group. So I was a part of some group chats for a while, and then that happened. Mm-hmm. There was a pool party before that.
Yeah.
That was fun. at another friend's.
Yeah.
And then Leah just kept inviting me to things.
She's just always on the list.
And I could, for years, probably 3 years, I could never make anything. And she just keeps inviting me. And then finally this past December, she invites me to Losers Christmas. I know we've talked really briefly about Losers Christmas, but, and I was
it's a party I hold on Christmas Eve. And it's usually an invitation out to like anyone who maybe you're displaced over Christmas. Maybe that's not the night your family's getting together. Maybe you are tired of your family and you need to run out for mix. And you accidentally end up at Lucy's Christmas.
Mama went out for the milk and never came home. Yeah, it was on December 22nd. Yeah. I'll never forget the day.
That was one of our biggest Losers Christmas ever. Like, I think we had 30, 35 people in this house. Like,
that's how many people were here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But it was so, anyways, I finally was like, there is no reason that I can't. So I made the arrangements to have a place to stay in Saskatoon, and I told her, I was like, I guess I'm coming. And like, I hadn't seen any of them in a year, so it was a little like nerve wracking kind of, but I mean, I get over my shyness super fast.
Yeah.
Super fast. And at like 3 a.m. that night, we made the decision to change our lives. And
and less than a month later, we were recording podcasts.
So we're still trying to see how it's going to change our lives, but we know it's coming.
So you are literally now watching our friendship develop because
we actually don't know each other that well.
Yeah, we don't know each other that well. And so like anything that she tells me, it's not like I'm leading into like asking questions and like leading down a path. But, so we might accidentally stumble upon things we don't want to talk about. And, you're gonna witness things unfold, in that regard. So
and in 7 years, you'll find out if we're lifetime friends or when it's.
Won't that be fun? Won't that be fun?
It'll be so much fun.
I can't wait to see what the future brings.
Yeah. All right. So I don't have a hardcore good advice question.
Okay,
but I do have a question.
Okay.
All right. I'm sure that you've experienced conflict in friendships. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And as a group or as an individual, how would you handle a conflict with one person in your group of friends?
So
does it become a witch hunt, or does it be like, does everybody what if everybody agrees with that? What if there's people that disagree? If it's something that's damaging to the dynamic of what you're doing?
Okay, it's close to home. So I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it. That's close to home. I just finished saying that we're not going to have leading questions until we get a leading question. So
we're liars.
So
we've been besties since grade 2. No. We haven't been.
Okay.
Are you comfortable answering the question?
Yeah, I am. Okay. No, I am for sure. So the person that was causing like the main issues in the friend group was my best friend. And I think for a long time, other people saw the issues before I ever did. And I think there was like other conversations that happened that I wasn't privy to that, everyone else, but there's still really great qualities about that other person as well. And we all still we still love that person and still love those good times that we had and talk about them frequently. But I think, I don't know if it's COVID or if it was that person started to change or like take a different direction. Maybe a combination of all of the things, but we started to drift. And then the more time that we spent away from each other, I think the more I started to it became less, their behavior became less commonplace in my life. And I started to see like, oh my God, like it started to open my eyes. The absence started to open my eyes and I started to see things for what they were. allowed opportunity for me to have more conversations with other people that have already started to know things. And I don't want to call it a witch hunt, but it kind of started to seem that once I started to open my eyes, then we all started to talk about it a lot. And we started to like piece together this larger puzzle that existed for a long time, not just like recent changes.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm loyal. I think that is the thing about me that,
it's hard to let relationships go.
It is. It's hard to let relationships go. I always want to see the good in the person, but once I'm done, I'm done. It's really hard to come back from that. And so offered opportunities to have conversations, to like clear the air, have the conversations, and was just met with, a lot of like denying or like, well, but you this, and I know like everybody has a part in every relationship. That's never claimed not to, but it was, I have a really big problem when, there's lack of ownership. And,
I'm the same. Accountability is huge.
Yeah. And so, okay, to answer your question though, it's, yes, it did feel witch hunty at first, or like at times, I guess it would say.
Yeah.
It did feel that way, but I am confident with like my own individual relationships in the group that I really try not to let the group sway my thoughts. And I think and I believe that everyone was respectful of that. And that's why I wasn't involved in any of those previous conversations. Mm-hmm. So at times, yes. But that wasn't like the main theme of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have
you ever had like conflicts in like your best friend group? Like I think you have a trio. Has there been like
in our tripod? No, we're a tripod.
A tripod.
Yeah. Shout out to Agent. I'm Agent Red. Sorry, Agent Blue and Agent Purple. That's our thing. It all started with the stealing of a couch in the grade 8, I believe. Yeah.
Good.
It wasn't. We didn't steal it. It was going in the dumpster.
Am I an accomplice now that I know this?
Moved it. I mean, we thought we were so bad. They're like, we stole it. It's like it was garbage, and like we literally asked the principal earlier that day if we could take it. Yeah. But then we pretended that we just whatever we wanted to be bad. We were so bad. I feel like there's probably been like some really like minor conflicts, but nothing major. Mm. We're just so lucky that way. Like we've just been so. I don't know. Like a sisterhood.
Yeah.
A real truth is just like, you could do like the worst thing possible and I'm going to be like, oh, why'd you do that? And then the next day it's like, I love you still.
The thing is we've all agreed, like I shouldn't say we've all agreed, but there's a lot of people in the group that agree that if that accountability was to already like all of a sudden turn up,
it would be good.
It would be considered. Right. Like there's a lot of things going on there, but like, we're like, that's step one.
Yeah.
So.
All right then. Cheers to friendship.
Cheers to friendship.
Good talk.
All right. To the future.
Yeah, to the future.
At least 7 years.